For 16 years, the San Francisco Art and Film Teen Film Workshop has been teaching students the art and craft of filmmaking. Our first goal is to make sure each student is given a comprehensive education in film history. We do this in two ways. Each workshop starts with a screening of a film, followed by discussion. This not only familiarizes our students with films and filmmakers they might not otherwise discover, but helps them to develop their critical thinking skills and gives them a vocabulary to express their own ideas about film.
The plot of the movie was obviously very loose and it's not very traditionally structured at all. But I think part of the subtlety of the movie is what really made it powerful for me.
Students are also asked to attend Cine Club, Art and Film's weekly film screening program. This means students have watched and discussed up to 50 important films in a single school year.
We go to school together and we go to film workshop together, so we get to talk about all the weird movies that Ronald makes us
interesting
watch
movies
all the time.
Another way we teach is through Cornerstones of Filmmaking, an 8-part series created by Ronald Chase specifically for the workshop. Each episode takes a specific tool of filmmaking, point of view for example, and uses excerpts from classic and contemporary films to show how different directors use it to great effect. Other subjects include visual concepts, montage, shaping and orchestrating, symbols and metaphor, intercutting, music, and sound. These lesson films have been used by several California high school media programs and in courses at Yale University and UCLA.
Take the gun from him. The overcoats cover the scene, which obscures it and allows only details to etch what's happening. Back at the police station, the famous ashtray and the dissolve shows the passing of time.
Following each lesson, students are asked to make a 2-minute film on their own that illustrates their understanding that week's lesson. These exercise films are reviewed and critiqued by the workshop, giving students an opportunity to improve their technique before beginning work on more complex projects.
I remember with my first film, I brought it in and it was a fully black and white film, and there was one shot where there was some clutter in the background, and even though it was only on screen for a few seconds, they could still kind of pick it out for me, and that way in my next films I was really able to notice stuff like that from my own previous experiences.
Following each session, students are asked to write an assessment, which includes a short essay on the feature film they watched and their reactions to the various activities of the day. These assessments require students to reflect on what they've learned. They also help the mentors to monitor their weekly progress and adjust the workshop to meet the needs of each student.
When we do the assessments, I really kind of look back on those techniques and really kind of gather my thoughts together on how these techniques are used in film. And now when I see films at the theaters, I could definitely notice all those different techniques being used and appreciate those films a lot more.
Over the course of the year, the workshop employs a wide variety of techniques to develop the skills necessary to make a film. One early activity might be making a group film, allowing beginning students to work collaboratively and learn from our more advanced students. Another week, students will develop their eye for composition and visual storytelling by studying still photographs.
In the corner, there's this image that pulls you around to this cup. And the black space pulls you around to the image on the right. And we're looking at the people in the middle. But it works like that. It keeps you circling. The negative space operates this way there. The two buildings and the figure in between takes your eye around and keeps you in the frame.
Another early exercise gives students practice drawing storyboards, which will help them explain how they want to shoot their films.
Yeah, that's just a still shot, and then that's a still shot.
Beginning students bring in 10 kernels or story ideas, which they discuss with the students and mentors before choosing one to develop into a treatment. Each week, an hour is given over to reading and workshopping treatments as a group. This is, all the info in one scene with 3 characters, and that's your lead-in.
The work you did was terrific because
Yes.
it did actually move us into into a film, and that each of the scenes seemed to be short, simple, and very descriptive.
I think one thing that is really important for filmmakers and that Film Workshop really teaches you how to do is how to take your own life and transform it into, and think about it as kind of fodder for narrative. And one thing that really helps us do that is through story time, where each week we have to bring a story from our lives and tell it in a way that's compelling. And it really teaches you how to look at your own life and mine it for details that you could use in scripts later.
So this is my 4th year with art and film, and I don't want to say that I feel super confident with any of this stuff because I always feel like there's more to learn, but I pretty much know how to act on at least one of the art and film sets. I know how to write a script, write a treatment. I know how to make a storyboard and general basic stuff of how to make a student film. And this year I decided to just amp it all up a level and make a split screen film so that there were 4 different things going, 4 different stories happening at the same time, and they all it's just 4 different apartments in an apartment building, and so there's the 4 different stories going on, but they all have to interact with each other because they can all hear each other, and also they're all happening at the same time, so you have to be able to follow the 4 stories.
This year I'm pushing myself to do a drama. And on top of that, I'm trying to incorporate dance into it and make it silent. So those are just a bunch of things that I've taken into account in developing a script. I'm probably on my 10th or so draft now, and the mentors have really helped me articulate what I want to say and develop the story, and really try and work through clear and clean imagery.
Once a treatment is finalized, the student will work one-on-one with our mentors to create storyboards and a shooting script. Meanwhile, they conduct screen tests and attend to the many other details it takes to prepare to shoot their films.
All right, action.
So each class I come in and I help the students in areas that are more related to production, the atmosphere on set, the way you have to act and behave on a film set, and also all the preparation you have to do to be ready to start filming on the set.
When shooting is completed, students make appointments to work one-on-one with our editing mentor to create the final version of the film.
They learn all of the software and the technical parts of editing, but we try and teach that there are many different stages to a film. There's one version of that they have originally and they write it. When they edit the end, that's a completely new film, and they have to learn to accept that new version and be able to let go of your previous ideas.
The Teen Film Workshop's track record is exemplary. This past year, its students' films were selected and screened by over a dozen national film festivals. Its students have entered many of the finest film schools, including Tisch, UCLA, USC, Sarah Lawrence, and Oberlin, and European film schools in Belgium, Germany, and France. Many of our alumni have finished film school and are now beginning to produce significant work, both in this country and internationally. Much of these successes can be attributed to our unique and comprehensive approach to film education.